Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's sketch video, we're going to be using this Viva la Verve, I think I'm saying that right, sketch. And it's another one where they do have some sizes on the sketch itself. You can pause it here, get your measurements, cut out your pieces, and come join me. We're going to continue using the Bella, I think it's Belvia collection, the paper collection we used on last week's video. And I have almost everything. I'm using the same sticker book. I got gold peel offs this time. And we're going to go ahead and score our paper. It's 11 inches by 4 1/4. And then I'm going to score it at 5 1/2. And I always score on both sides because I'm using the Neenah 110 weight. And it helps with getting a nice crisp edge on your card base. Okay, so we're gonna put that to the side. And then I have all my pieces here cut out, and we're gonna start assembling the card. So this flower strip is gonna go across the middle. And I'm gonna start with this because I always try to think when I'm using peel offs strategically, in that I like having the strips kind of go around the corner, like go wrap underneath of the project, and it looks better that it doesn't go over top of the matte image. So instead of um, just going straight from edge to edge, I just leave a little bit off the end and I fold it over. And then on the top piece, just like we did last week, I'm going to wind up cutting it in half. And there will be a nice little, probably like a little small section in the middle that won't have any of the gold strips. But the pattern paper that we're going to be layering on top is going to cover that. So once again, no one would know it's there. And in doing it that way, we don't waste anything. So our base paper, the larger chunk of paper, is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. My brown mat is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So that way we get a nice small border around our edge. And here is the magic of using the wet glue with the tape runner. I was able to pull it right apart and then relay it down, so that way it wasn't crooked, because when I initially put it on, it was definitely lopsided. So once we got that attached, I'm going to go ahead and tape the back and add some more of that wet glue. And then we're going to attach it to our card base, and this is going to be a top folding card. And once we have our little border around on that, we're going to move on to our next part of the puzzle. So this bright pink pattern paper, I'm going to mat with the brown paper as well. Now this piece, I want to say it was 3 by 4 on the sketch. So the mat I made 3 1/8 by 4 1/8, making sure I would have a nice thin border. And I usually say this, I think I try to say it at least once in a video in case anybody's new. But I use the art glitter glue with my tape runners, whether it be ATG or otherwise, to give me just a few seconds to be able to move stuff around or pull it back up, so that it doesn't destroy the paper. Because a lot of times, if you use just art glitter glue is very strong. And so, if you let it dry completely and then think, oh, I need to straighten that, you can forget about it. Okay, so for me on this level, this particular sketch, each layer had to be matted, or if I wasn't going to mat, I would use the Distress ink. Instead, I think, was I going to use the ink? I think I thought about it, and then I decided just to do both cards for today, the one I did as a practice and then this one on camera. I would just do all mattes instead of doing one with a matte and one without. Now on this one, the white paper I cut to the measurement. You could do a couple of things with this. With this piece, you could find a sentiment or something that would fit vertically on this particular layout. I'm going to do something a little different, and it took me a minute because I was trying to figure out which flower I wanted to use. At this point on this card, I already know which flower I'm going to use because, like I said, I already finished one. So we're going to go through here real quick. I got to find it because I'm looking for, there's a super long flower that I really liked, but it was too long for the card front. I think on that one, I would probably have to do like a 5x7 card so I would have more surface space. And then I'm just cutting some foam not dots, they're squares. I'm cutting them in half and creating my little, my layout. Now, in doing so, I did realize instead of being three times bigger, I don't think that's the word I'm looking for. No, with the foam squares, because the part that has the flowers on it is lifted up, I needed to add a couple of foams on the ends. Now the only problem is when I did that, it left a little bit of space, like it wasn't sitting right, so I had to lift up the sentiment and put more foam squares so that way it would be kind of more even all around. Oh, we can't keep stuff simple, can we? Okay, so now I'm going to fiddle with this because it's not laying the way that I envisioned and it's driving me nuts, but eventually it does get corrected and it's ready to go. Now to finish these off, I grabbed some, I think this is the Enchanted Gold from the Nuvo Drops, and I'm going to put 3 down, sort of like the centers of the flower, and tap so that way it can have a little bit of a dome, not go completely flat. That worked out the best. And then here you can see it just wasn't sitting right for me. It really wasn't. It was driving me nuts. So instead of the wet glue, this is where I add more of the foam in the center. And then once I do that, it's perfect. And just, I'm using these Alchemy scissors. I will say this, when it comes to the foam squares or anything that's extra tacky, use the Teflon one or the one with the coating because it's easier and it doesn't keep the sticky, if that makes sense. This one, using the Alchemy scissors, I do have to clean them every once in a while because they get a little sticky from some of the foam and all that. So just a little FYI for you. So we're getting ready to come up on our pictures. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and a little bell next to it so that way you get a notification whenever I upload a video. And at the end here, I will have links to previous Friday sketch videos. So if you've never seen them before, definitely check them out. I'm glad that I'm at least getting this part back into the groove. So thanks you guys for sticking it out with me, and I will see you with the next video.